The Swartzentruber Amish are your old order Amish, like very old, very rigid in their beliefs and their manners. They're usually the ones that you see that won't have any lights or placards or anything on their buggies. Everything is very, very primitive. Definitely will not be any solar panels. Again, they really do live in the world, but not of the world. And in Ashland County, I did a video about 10 months ago where the county is requiring all Amish to put battery operated lights on their buggies. And I did an article or a video about a Swartzentruber Amish man who went to court, and his letter touched me that he wrote to the court. And it just helps you to see where their heart is in the matter. They're not trying to be belligerent and not put the lights on. Obviously, it is a safety feature, but for them, it's more than that. So I'm not trying to get into a debate on what side that you want to agree on, as much as I want you to be aware of their life and some of the situations that they can get into for trying to live the life that they live for religious reasons. I wanted to give you a little read the letter to you from that video. I do have the link, but I also want to read it to you again because it's really very heart-touching, and it helps you to understand why. I confess that we must show all proper respect to the government and must honor it according to the teaching of Paul, Romans 13, and pay taxes, tithes, and tribute, and show every kind of obedience, as long as they don't require anything against the conscience. When, however, they command something contrary to conscience, or not according to the teaching of Jesus, the reason for me not having a battery-operated light on my buggy, like I know is required by the government of Ohio, is, number one, it was forbidden from our forefathers, and if we read it in the Ten Commandments, verse 5, it says, "We must honor thy father and thy mother. Thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee." I feel we are not honoring this if we put a battery-operated light on our buggies. Number two, my conscience would not allow me to. Three, my faith. We should have faith in God and trust that he protects us if it is his will. I'm afraid if I start using the flashing light on my buggy, it would do no harm spiritually, as I could end up having more trust in the battery light to protect me than in God. Number three, my faith. We should have faith in God and trust that he protects us if it is his will. I'm afraid if I start using the flashing light on my buggy, it would do me harm spiritually, as I could end up having more trust in the flashing light to protect me than in God. Number four, my religion. While some people may think it is only a tradition that we don't use battery-operated lights on our buggy, this may well be the case with some groups. But as for me, my religion doesn't allow me any battery-operated lights on my buggy. Even though we use selected battery flashlights, we would never use any battery-operated lights mounted on our buggies and would prefer to keep it like this if possible. Part of the Amish faith is they just believe so strongly in God and his purpose and his will that he's the one that protects them. That's why they don't go to war and they're non-resistant. Everything is according to God's will. You're here as long as God wants you to be here, and what happens, happens. It's all according to his will. The link for the video with the letter I had shared is above if you want to see what was happening at that time. In this video, I'm going to give you an update. What has happened since that law has gone into effect in Ohio? Did the Amish relent? Did they decide to go ahead and put them on their buggies, or are they still refusing because of their religious beliefs? But I went to the Ashland County newspaper to get an update, and basically there are 26 Amish men who are refusing to pay the fine. Here's the article. More than 20 members of the Amish community were in court on Friday in Ashland after refusing to comply with the new state law that makes flashing yellow lights on their horse-drawn buggies mandatory. Ashland municipal judge ordered that they pay fines to avoid jail time. All 26 members took the stand to contest that they would not and could not pay the fine because it was against their religion. So Judge Good gave them the option of either putting a lien on their properties or performing community service instead. And then basically it goes on to talk about how they asked them, can you afford to pay the fine? And they pretty much said, yeah, I can afford it, but I'm not. I'm not paying it because it's against my religion, and that was the whole reason. So that's where it stands right now. The fines are about $50 to $150 a piece, and some of them have had liens put on their property. So that's where that stands as of this time. And again, these are the Swartzentruber Amish that are really resisting. I do live in Southern Ohio, and we have more New Order Amish and Mennonite in our area, and they are using the buggies. And I have to say, if you are out at night, it is definitely a safety feature. While it is God's will, it would be heartbreaking to come over a hill and accidentally hit somebody. We don't want anybody to be hurt, but also we have to respect their faith and their heart of where they are. Hopefully they will try to stay off the roads at night. Maybe in that county they can get a third buggy road built. I don't know, but just pray for them, that they come to some kind of conclusion in this situation, because it doesn't, we don't want it to go too far in either direction. We want them to be safe, and of course we want them to obey the law, and maybe they can come up with some kind of a compromise.